স্যার কখন স্যার বোর্ড ফোন করলে না as we have already discussed about the different topics of vectors. Now today's topic will be cross product or vector product of vectors. So we already studied about the dot product of vectors, right? Now this will be the vector product or cross product. Dot product is basically called a scalar product. This time this will be your cross product, or sometimes it will be called as vector product. Because in the end you are always going to find a vector as a result. In the dot product you always get a result as a real number, right? That's why it was a scalar product. But this time you are going to get a vector as the result. You are multiplying two vectors and you are getting a vector, right? So this will be a vector product or the cross product. Now see, for the two vectors, vector A and vector B, if I am taking the cross product of A cross B, can you just tell me what is the dot product of vector? The dot product of vector AB cos theta. Dot product was cos theta. This time it will be AB sin theta. The magnitude of A, the magnitude of B, sin theta and n cap. Now why n cap? Because this is a vector. As I already told you, this is a vector product. So there should be some direction. So n cap will denote the direction of the vector. Right? So this will be the sin theta n cap. Now coming to the most important part, when it talks about the multiplying of two vectors or taking the cross product of two vectors, suppose for example I am taking vector A as 2 I cap plus 3 j cap plus 4 k cap, and I am taking another vector B minus 2 I cap plus 4 j cap plus 2 k cap. These are my two vectors. Now when you find the cross product of these two vectors, so you have to find A cross B. Now do you remember about the matrix multiplication? कैसे matrix को multiply किया जाता था? थोड़ा बहुत अगर याद है. Now same thing. You have to take first of all I. You have to reject this and you have to take the components of j and k. So that will be 3 into 2 minus 4 into 4. Plus again come to the j and reject the j. And you will get, if you reject the j, you will get 4 into minus 2 and 2 into 2. And then again come to k and you are getting 2 into 4 minus 3 into minus 2. This thing. So basically you are getting I cap 6 minus 16 plus j cap 4 minus 2 minus 8 minus 4 and plus k 2 4s are 8 plus 6. So basically you are getting minus 10 I cap minus 12 j cap and plus 14 k cap. This will be your cross product of the two vectors. As I already told you, you are always going to get a vector in the result, right? So this will be the vector, and if you have to find the magnitude of this vector, you know how to find the magnitude of this vector. Magnitude of this will be minus 10 square plus minus 12 square and plus 14 square. So that will be the magnitude of the vector. When you take the cross product, you are getting the result as minus 10i minus 12j plus 14k. And if you have to find the magnitude of the vector, you just have to take the square root or the a square plus b square plus c square form. Right? कहाँ थे इतने दिन तक? कुछ समझ में आ रहा है भाई? बहुत सारे क्लासेस तो मिस हो गया होगा. वेक्टर हम लोग वेक्टर का ही क्लास मिस हुआ. हाँ, बायनोमियल थ्योरम तो ठीक है, वेक्टर लेकिन इंपॉर्टेंट है. यहाँ तक देख लो, किसी को कुछ दिक्कत है तो. कैन यू रिकॉल रिलेट विद द मैं समझता हूँ कि वेक्टर पढ़े हुए बहुत टाइम हो गया है, बट कैन यू रिलेट विद देम डॉट प्रोडक्ट ए बी कॉस थीटा ए बी साइन थीटा डॉट प्रोडक्ट में आई डॉट आई इक्वल टू हम लोगों ने क्या लिया था 1 लिया था, आई डॉट जे इज इक्वल टू 0. वहां पे तो सिंपल था, लेकिन यहाँ पे अगर जब तुम क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट निकालने जाओगे यू हैव टू डू दिस मेथड. डॉट प्रोडक्ट तो इजी था. when you take 1 into 1i into 1i you get 1, 1i 1j into 2j you will get 2, right? But here you have to do this method to find the cross product. Okay, this way you can find the cross product. Hmm. Hmm. If you take minus j, no, no, that matrix form in matrix it has become minus j. But here, so if you take, you can take minus j here. Or it should be like this. This first step, this second. So I take, see, I take first 4, right? If you take minus, then you have to take this one first. Since I am taking for positive, so I'll take this one first. Same thing only. Okay. He is saying that you can take minus also here. If you take minus here, then you have to start from here. 2 into 2, 4 into minus 2. Right? But as I am taking plus there, plus j, so I am taking 4 into minus 2, 2 into 2. समझ रहे हो मेरी बात? यहाँ पे अगर माइनस होता तो यहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हैं हम लोग 2 into this. But if you go with the way that इससे इसको इससे इसको इसको इससे, then you have to take plus. This will be, you can find the vector product. Now I'll try to open the NCERT here. Huh? Okay, now write some properties of cross product. 12 का है, 11 में वेक्टर नहीं है, फिजिक्स में थोड़ा है. हो गया. Now write some properties. First one, vector product is not commutative. Vector product is not commutative. It's not commutative. So you cannot write this. You cannot write a cross b will be not equal to b cross a, but dot product में same था, a dot b equal to b dot a था ना, but in cross product you cannot take a cross b equal to b cross a. It's not commutative, right? Now again, right, if two vectors are if two vectors are if two vectors are parallel to each other, if two vectors are parallel to each other, if two vectors are parallel to each other, then their cross product is 0. Then their cross product is 0. Obviously, because see, if the vectors are parallel to each other, the angle between them will be 0 degree, and you know sine 0 is 0, right? So a cross b will become a b sine 0. That will simply means 0. So a cross b will be 0. In dot product, when you take the perpendicular vectors, the dot product of the vectors will be 0. When you take the cross product as 0, the vectors will be parallel, right? Next, now if you remember the dot product, we simply write I dot I equal to 1, I dot j equal to 0, j dot j equal to 1, j dot k is equal to 0, like this, right? But when you take I dot I here, then I cross I, then it will be 0, because the theta is 0 degree here, sine 0 is 0, right? In dot product cos 0 is 1, that's why we get I dot I is equal to 1. But in here I will get I cross I will be 0, because sine 0 is 0. Similarly, you can get j cross j equal to 0, k cross k equal to 0. But when you take I dot j, you are getting the other vector k. When you take j cross k, you are getting the other vector I. K cross I, you are getting j. Reversely, if you take j cross I, you are getting minus k. If you take k cross j, you are getting minus I. And when you take I cross k, you are getting minus j. ये भी देखना पड़ेगा, इसको भी लिख लो. नेक्स्ट वाले प्रॉपर्टी में ये लिख लो. डन. नेक्स्ट लिखना area of a triangle, area of a triangle using vector, area of a triangle using vector, area of a triangle using vector. बस फॉर्मूला लिखने से हो जाएगा अपना काम. एनडीए का ठीक ठीक दे सकते हैं, देने दो. मैं ऐसे भी मैं दे ऐसे अच्छा नहीं किया है, ऐसे ही डिस्कस कर. अच्छा ऐसे ही डिस्कस कर देता हूँ क्वेश्चन पढ़ पढ़ के. ठीक है। ये एग्जाम तुम लोगों ने दिया था? पहले के क्वेश्चंस तो कैलकुलस है, कैलकुलस तो पढ़ाया भी नहीं अभी तक। पीछे के क्वेश्चंस करवाया हुआ है, लेकिन पहले के क्वेश्चंस तो नहीं होगा तुम लोगों से, तो पढ़ाया ही नहीं। पहला क्वेश्चन स्ट्रेट लाइन का है, दूसरा क्वेश्चन स्ट्रेट लाइन से है, तीसरा क्वेश्चन बस ठीक है, ये तो तुम लोग थोड़ा दिमाग लगा कर सकते हो। चौथा क्वेश्चन कैलकुलस का है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 कॉनिक सेक्शन। क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 ओके ट्रिगोनोमेट्री। क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन। क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन। क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 एपीजीपी। ओके, क्वेश्चन नंबर 10 ठीक है, 11 मैट्रिसेस। ठीक है, दो मतलब कुछ कुछ क्वेश्चन नहीं होगा तुम लोगों से ऑब्वियसली, नो सॉल्यूशन। अच्छा, ये सब तो ठीक है। अभी वन बाय जेड वन, ये किसका है? बेमनिंग या क्या, कौन है? तुम्हारा है। वन बाय जेड, यू आर मार्किंग वन बाय जेड इज एडिटिव इनवर्स ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर जेड। वन बाय जेड will be the additive inverse. See, okay, let us discuss some questions. Will not solve them. One by z will be additive inverse, multiplicative inverse, na? If you consider a complex number z, so what will be one by z? Multiplicative inverse. Yes or no? Additive inverse means minus z, na? ये क्वेश्चन गलत होगा तो कैसे होगा? You have to think about it. ठीक है, मैं देखता हूँ और क्या है। ये क्वेश्चन तुम लोगों से हो सकता था। To consider the following in respect of sets A and B. तो ए एंड बी जो सेट्स का जो क्वेश्चन था कि ए माइनस बी यूनियन बी इक्वल टू ए, जो ऑप्शन यहाँ पे गिवन है ए माइनस बी यूनियन ए इक्वल टू ए, सो यू जस्ट हैव टू यूज द वेन डायग्राम। जस्ट यूज द वेन डायग्राम एंड यू गेट द आंसर कि ए माइनस बी क्या होगा वेन डायग्राम से ड्रॉ करोगे तो, राइट? वेन डायग्राम में ड्रॉ करना आता है ना, ए माइनस बी, देन यू टेक द बी एंड टेक ए माइनस बी यूनियन बी, तो व्हाट इट जस्ट सेड यू आर गेटिंग बेसिकली, राइट? तो ये सब करना पड़ेगा। बाकी परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन के क्वेश्चन तो इजी है। रिपीट, एक क्वेश्चन रिपीटेशन से था, एक क्वेश्चन नॉन रिपीटेशन से था। तो इफ यू आर रिपीटेशन इज अलाउड and you are, if the question is from permutation and the repetition is allowed, then you are going to use the formula n to the power r. Yes, if repetition is not allowed, you are going to use the formula npr. Also, you have to look that if some letters is repeated or not. Suppose the letter r is repeated 2 times, so you have to divide it factorial 2. r is suppose repeated 3 times, then you have to divide it factorial 3, right? दो क्वेश्चन तो वही था, एक रिपीटेड था एक नॉन रिपीटेड था। परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन से तो ठीक है। देन द सिस्टम ऑफ लीनियर इक्वेशन, दो लीनियर इक्वेशन है, has no solution if k equal to. So if the linear equation has no solution, then that they will be parallel. Yes, in which case they are parallel? A1 by A2, and that will be a unique solution. हाँ, A1 by A2 not equal to B1 by B2 means intersecting each other. So that means there will be a unique solution, right? A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 equal to C1 by C2 means they are coinciding. So infinite number of solutions, right? And A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 but not equal to C1 by C2. That will be your पैरेलल, नो सॉल्यूशन, राइट? तो उसी में से आ जाएगा के का वैल्यू। बाकी ठीक है। टी पार्टी दैट इज अ क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम कॉम्बिनेशन। ए टी पार्टी 60 people along two sides a table, 8 chairs each side, particular man. That will be again a question from combination. And one question is from matrices. A question to previous year question hai. The sum of all two-digit number. You have to use the Sn n by 2 twice a plus n minus 1 into d. Right? The AP formula Sn. ये कुछ क्वेश्चन तो हो सकता था, लेकिन हाँ ओवरऑल क्वेश्चन बहुत नहीं पढ़ा है उस पार्ट से दिया गया है. They have to consult with me before taking an exam. Actually, the class was the 3 classes they were scheduled for the 3 days. I was not there here, so that's why they are taking the test. Okay, no, this is not be. But as I told you, on 31st August you are going to have a test, na? But that paper will be set by me. Next 31st. अरे बताया तो था. लास्ट क्लास क्या मैंने डिवाइड करके बताया था तुम लोगों को सिलेबस को. कुछ कुछ चैप्टर बताया था ना. So that paper will be set by me. 31st. एक टेस्ट होगा 31st अगस्त को. एक फर्स्ट होगा नहीं 31st अगस्त को. हाँ 31st जुलाई को ना. हाँ यू हैव द एग्जाम 31st जुलाई. यस. हाँ 31st जुलाई फर्स्ट एग्जाम. देन 21st अगस्त सेकंड एग्जाम. 31st अगस्त थर्ड एग्जाम. एंड 3rd सितंबर फॉर लास्ट एग्जाम. क्या 4 एग्जाम मैंने शेड्यूल करवाया था ना तुम लोगों को. तो जस्ट सिलेबस एज आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू लिख के भी दिया था ना मैंने. अरे लास्ट क्लास हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था इसके ऊपर. हाँ हाँ गया syllabus. हाँ प्रोबेबिलिटी स्टैटिस्टिक्स ये सब था ना. प्रोबेबिलिटी स्टैटिस्टिक्स मैट्रिसेस डिटरमिनेंट सेट्स बेसिक ट्रिगोनोमेट्री एंड पीएनसी. these are the chapters for 31st July exam. I again telling you permutation combination, probability, statistics, matrices determinant, sets and basic trigo. राइट. तो ये चैप्टर्स होंगे तुम्हारे जो मंडे को एग्जाम होगा. सॉरी 31st जुलाई को जो एग्जाम होगा. राइट. हाँ 11 अगस्त दिया था क्या मैंने. मैं डेट भूल रहा हूँ देन. तो जो भी है. तो दूसरा टेस्ट कब था देन. एक 11 को बोला था और दूसरा कब बोला था. 21st. अच्छा 11 21st एंड 31st को भी बोला था शायद. सारा एग्जाम तो मैंने बोला था क्योंकि 3 पार्ट में मैंने सिलेबस डिवाइड करके दिया था. एक पार्ट के बाद एक एग्जाम, एक के बाद एक, टोटल 3 पार्ट में 3 एग्जाम और एक पूरा एग्जाम है कि नहीं. ठीक है. तो यस यस आई एम रिमेम्बरिंग 11th अगस्त राइट, नॉट 31st जुलाई. So you are going to have the exam on these chapters on 11 August. तो दिस विल बी इम्पोर्टेंट. हाँ ये सब तो ठीक है. ये जो नहीं पढ़ा है उसी से दिया गया है तो ये सब को मत लो अभी. हाँ मार्क्स विल बी सी 2.5 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन पर क्वेश्चन 2.5 मार्क्स राइट. so I am thinking to take 50 questions. Okay, section wise 50 questions. First 50 then 50 then the main exam will be 100 marks. 100 sorry 100 questions. 120 sorry 120 जो तुम्हारे एनडीए में आएगा. 100 that will be the final exam. But on 11 August you are going to get 50 questions, 2.5 marks each. So that will be your 100 and इस तरफ 5 50 25 125 marks. Okay, right. So 125 you have to score 50 plus 60 plus. You have to score 60 plus. Okay, and there will be negative marking as well. 0.83 right, 0.83 somewhere like around this na 0.83. Okay, 0.83 will be the negative mark, 2.5 will be the each for correct mark, no mark for the unattempted questions. Okay, so only these chapters na relation set theory. Now when I'm talking about set theory you are basically having relation function as well, right. The set theory, then in basic to go probability statistics permutation combination. Please read these chapters. Matrices and determinant, right. In out of those 125 marks if you able to score 80 plus, suppose on a hypothetical situation if you able to score 80 plus then you have to no need to worry about your final exam, because if you get 80 marks of these chapters only then you can easily score 130 140 in the final exam, right. So read these chapters thoroughly and be conceptually ready. The questions will be from PYQs. Some questions will be from my mind. There will be no any standard book that will be followed. No standard book will be followed for a question. Some questions will be PYQs, direct PYQs question, and some questions will be from my mind. I'll arrange the questions. Huh? PYQs, as I told you, you have to go through 21 to 25. फाइनल के लिए 21 से पहले की जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, right? So just go through the questions of 21 to 25 for these chapters, and also be prepared conceptually because some questions will be from my side, so that will be not in the PYQs. Okay, so be ready for 11 August. Huh? Be ready. I'll giving you enough time. Today is 19. Today is 19 July. 20 or 19. Today is 19 July. So you still have almost 20 days. 22 days. Okay, so you can easily prepare. And I last class जो मैंने बोला था एक चैप्टर दो चैप्टर अभी तक तो 2-3 चैप्टर हो जाना चाहिए था, जो लास्ट क्लास मैंने स्केड्यूल बना के दिया था. पढ़ा कि नहीं पढ़ा तुम लोगों ने? एनी चैप्टर यू कैन नेम. which chapter did you go through in the last days? Permutation combination. Yeah, okay. Anyone else? डाउट है? डाउट तो दिखा दूंगा, लेकिन ठीक है. लास्ट क्लास मैंने बताया था ना कि एक एक चैप्टर पढ़ के आना. अभी तो एक नहीं, अभी तो लास्ट क्लास मैंने शायद लास्ट फ्राइडे को ही लिया था. यस, तो 1 week, तो 1 week 7 days, so you have to cover 2 chapters in 7 days as per we have planned. बोला लास्ट क्लास मैंने बताया था हर एक चैप्टर को 5-5 दिन दो. जो बड़ा बड़ा चैप्टर है उसके लिए थोड़ा अलग ले. जैसे परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन के लिए 3 दिन ले लिया, तो मैट्रिसेस डिटरमिनेंट के लिए 7 दिन ले लिया. समझ रहे हो? तो एज पर योर चॉइस तुम्हें कौन सा. लेकिन ये जो चैप्टर है प्रायोरिटी है. यहाँ से तुम्हें 30-40% क्वेश्चन मिलेंगे. समझ रहे हो ना? इसलिए ये चैप्टर्स मैंने पहले दिया था. समझ रहे हो मेरी बात? और बताओ तुम लोगों ने पढ़ा कि नहीं पढ़ा? लास्ट वीक क्या पढ़ा मैथ्स में बताओ. आई हैव टू गो थ्रू योर प्रोग्रेस. लास्ट वीक फ्रॉम फ्राइडे टू दिस सैटरडे व्हाट यू हैव स्टडीड. बताओ कोई चैप्टर क्या पढ़ा? एक एक करके बताओ. पढ़ा ओए बताओ क्या पढ़ा? स्टैटिस्टिक्स पहले पढ़ा. ओके, 2 चैप्टर तो ठीक है. कोई एक चैप्टर नाम ले लेना बस. एक मैं अभी थोड़ा इन्वॉल्व होऊंगा तुम्हारी लाइफ में. ठीक है, स्टैटिस्टिक्स प्रोबेबिलिटी. एंड यू गाइस कुछ पढ़ा? लास्ट वीक नहीं पढ़ा तुमने? हाँ क्या? वेक्टर. अच्छा, ओके, यू गो थ्रू वेक्टर. ओके, that will be not your list but still you did. Okay, good. And you? Sets. Okay. Huh? Okay, sets and PNC. And okay, done. Okay, next you. Sets. Okay, sets I got 2 times. Then trigonometry. Okay. And you? Probability. Okay, I'll get probability once more. Then नहीं पढ़ा? क्यों नहीं पढ़ा? क्या इतना बिजी था? And you? नहीं पढ़ा? आई trigonometry. Okay, I'll get one more trigo. Then okay, sets. I get sets, trigo, PNC. Ha. Okay, trigo. Okay. Then probability. Okay, I get probability. Then last bench. Okay, very good matrices. Then PNC. Obviously, you give me the questions. Yes, PNC. Okay. Now PNC बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोला है. Let us solve one PNC question. And you are going to give me the idea about how can I solve this question. Okay. Let us take one PNC question. अभी तो एनसीईआरटी में फोकस मत करो, अभी पीवाईक्यूज कर सकते हो. ये आर है कि एन है? एन है। ट्राइंगल का एरिया का हेडिंग डाला था ना, वो लास्ट पार्ट होगा, वो लिख लूंगा। लोगों मैं वैसे 3D भी पढ़ाने वाला हूँ, वो लिख ले। ये क्वेश्चन करने के बाद वापस वहां पे जाते हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा अभी। पहले ये वाला बताओ, फिर मैं जवानी कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा। नाउ यू हैव टू फाइंड दिस, ओके? so see r equal to 0 to 1, so basically you have two terms. Yes, you have two terms because r is from starting from 0 to 1 na. So what will be the two terms? First of all, take the value of 0. If you take the value of 0, you get NCN or not? NCN. Okay, then plus, if you take the value as 1, so you are basically getting n plus c n. Yes, yes or no? Okay, now what will be the sum? This summation means you have to take the sum, the first term plus second term, 0 and 1. NCN is 1, n plus 1 cn is n plus 1. Okay, so you are basically getting n plus 2. Now just you have to check which one of the option you are giving you n plus 2, right? So this will be give you n plus 2, n plus 2. No, this will not give you n plus 2, right? Now check for n plus 2 cn, n plus 2 n. No, this will not give you n plus 3. Obviously, this is not, this can give. If you go to n plus 2, then factorial n plus 1. Then if you subtract them, n plus 2 minus n minus 1, right? So n will be cancelled out. 2 minus 1 is 1. So you are basically getting n plus 2 by n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 2 and n plus 1. So this will be your, sorry, एक second, n plus 2 into n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So you are getting n plus 2. So option D will be correct, right? Option A दिया है. How it be possible? N plus 2, 1, n plus 2. No, 1 नहीं होगा. How can it be 1? N plus 2. Oh, n plus 2 minus 1 to n plus 2 factorial 1 to n plus 1 to n plus 1. Yes, yes. n plus 2, n plus 1. कहाँ पे उल्टा किया मैंने? तो मैंने n plus 1 को n plus 2, दोनों में क्यों आ रहा है आंसर? n plus 2 by n plus 1, इसमें भी तो आ रहा है, दोनों में आ रहा है. ऑप्शन ए में भी आ रहा है, ऑप्शन डी में भी आ रहा है. अभी देखना पड़ेगा एनडीए का पीवाईक्यू में क्या ऑप्शन था. रुको, कौन सा साल का सवाल है? पीवाईक्यू था क्या ये? हाँ, रुको मैं आंसर की देखता हूँ. दोनों ऑप्शन आ रहा है. एनडीए ऑप्शन डी बताया है, डी है. So but you get the answer from one also, right? So there may be some misprint. Okay, there may be some misprint, but according to NDA this will be 2. Sorry, D, right? तो हो सकता है कभी आ सकता है गलत क्वेश्चन, क्या दिक्कत है? But you have to know the process, right? Because see, there will be only two terms now, r from 0 to 1 only. So first of all you have to take r as 0, then you have to take r as 1. Okay. Now before going to the triangle part, let me ask you, you have studied this part. ठीक है, पढ़ा होगा तो अच्छी बात है. जो लोग नहीं पढ़े हो प्लीज अभी से स्टार्ट करो. गाड़ी निकल गए, निकल जाएगा नहीं तो. Okay, write the area of the triangle formula first. Just you have to remember the formula, huh? What is the formula? See, we have discussed the area of a triangle by using Heron's formula, by using the normal formula half into base into height. One more formula will be there by using the vectors. If the suppose 3 vectors are given, then how can we find the area of the triangle? Okay, right. In the triangle ABC, in the triangle ABC, in the triangle ABC, comma, in the triangle ABC, comma, where A, comma, B, comma, C, where A, comma, B, comma, C, where A, comma, B, comma, C are in space, are in space, are in space. The area for the triangle, the area for the triangle will be, the area for the triangle will be half into, half into of AB vector into BC vector. मतलब ये वाला half into AB vector into means cross product BC vector, and obviously you are taking a modulus because it cannot be negative, right? Half into AB into BC. Always you have to find the magnitude also, huh? Suppose I am getting AB cross BC is equal to IK plus JK plus KK, then it will be root 3, 1 plus 1 plus 1. So root 3 by 2 will be the area. Are you getting my point? Suppose I am getting the AB cross BC is IK plus JK plus KK. Then you have to find the magnitude for this, na? The magnitude will be 1 square plus 1 square plus 1 square under root. That will be root 3. So the area will be root 3 by 2 unit. Okay, square unit. Okay, done. Now let me give you one question for this. লাগিব খালি হা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে now tell me three questions. What will be the direction cosines of x-axis, y-axis and z-axis? What is the direction cosine for x-axis? Do you remember about the direction cosines? Now see, I am shifting from 3D, now 3D, okay? Now when you study about the three-dimensional geometry, regardless you are studying three-dimensional geometry or vector algebra, both of the chapters are interlinked because vector is 3D, right? So in vector algebra, the first part we are studying about the direction angle, direction cosine, direction ratio, right? Now when we study three-dimensional geometry also, we have to study with the same thing, direction cosine, direction angle and direction ratio, and the definition will be same. The direction angle for vector we have studied will be same for the 3D also, right? Now what is the direction angle that we have studied? What is the direction angle? Direction angle, huh? Alpha beta gamma, okay, alpha beta gamma was the direction angle, but what is the definition for a direction angle? Last class भी मैंने तुमको बता के गया था ये. Yes, first of all you have to take the position vector, right? Now what is the position vector? A vector that has the initial point as the origin. Terminal point can be anything. Now what is an initial and terminal point? The vector when it starts, its initial point. The vector when it ends, it will be a terminal point. Now what is a vector? देखो सब thing interlinked है कि नहीं है? Now if I am studying about the direction ratio, suppose I have to know about the direction cosine. If I have to know about direction cosine, then I have to know about the direction angle. Now if I have to know about the direction angle, I have to know about the position vector. If I have to know about the position vector, I have to know about the initial point and terminal point. If I have to know about the initial point and terminal point, I have to know about the vector. So 3D is basically evolving from the vectors, right? So direction angle is nothing but when the position vector makes any angle with the direct axes, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, right? The position vector is making three angles, the positive direction of x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively. The angle it is made with the positive direction of x-axis is denoted by alpha. The angle that is made it with the positive direction of y-axis, it is measured as beta, and similarly for z-axis it was gamma. This alpha, beta, gamma were my direction angles, right? When I'm taking about the cosine value, it means cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma. I have my direction cosines, right? That is denoted by L, M, N. We also established a relation that L square plus M square plus N square equal to 1. Right? I already told you that this will be most important thing in your entire vector algebra part. L square plus M square plus N square equal to 1. If you observe the PYQs last year and last to last year, the questions are coming from L square plus M square plus N square. Right? Now again, when you talk about the direction ratios, so we have to imagine three arbitrary values A, B and C which are proportional to the direction cosines. Proportional means if you are dividing A by L, B by M, C by N, you are getting the same value. That will be proportional, na? Equal ratio means proportional. So when you have three arbitrary values that are proportional to the direction cosines, this will be called as direction ratios. That is denoted by A, B, C. Right? Now when you take the vector form, suppose vector, when you take a vector, suppose 2ik plus 3jk plus 4kk, right? I already told you about that in the vector part, 2ik plus 3jk plus 4kk, there is one scalar component, there is one vector component. The vector component will be 2i, 3j, 4k only. The scalar component will be 2, 3, 4. That will be nothing but your direction ratios. Yes or no? If you take the scalar component of a vector, you are basically obtaining your direction ratios A, B, C. So if I am giving you a vector, suppose ik plus jk plus kk, and I am asking you what will be the direction ratios, you are just have to say that this will be 1, 1, 1. Yes or no? Now if I am talking about the direction cosines of the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively, what will be your answer? So what will be the direction cosines for x-axis? 1. Will it be 1, 0, 0? Yes. Direction cosine for x-axis. Now, when you talk about the x-axis, see, you are right. So, when you talk about the x-axis, this will be my x-axis. So, when you talk about the direction cosine of x-axis, you have to take the position vector on the x-axis itself, right? So, this will be my position vector. Suppose O, OP. Now, if I'm talking about the direction cosine for x-axis, I have to imagine that my position vector is lying on the x-axis. Yes or no? Now, when your position vector is lying on the x-axis, what is the angle it is making with x-axis? If your position vector is lying on the x-axis, then what is the angle it is making with x-axis? Abe, 0. If the position vector is in the x-axis, it is making the angle 0 with the x-axis. Yes or no? And what is the angle it is making with y-axis? 90 degree. What is the angle it is making with z-axis? 90 degree. So your direction angles will be 0, 90, 90. Yes or no? If your direction angles are 0, 90, 90, then your direction cosine will be cos 0, cos 90, cos 90. That will immediately become 1, 0, 0. So the direction cosines for x-axis will be 1, 0, 0. Are you getting my point? Similarly, the direction cosine for y-axis 0, 1, 0. And direction cosine for z-axis 0, 0, 1. Are you getting my point? NDA has asked these questions. What is the direction cosine for y-axis, z-axis, x-axis? Simple question. What is the direction cosines? Now you have to remember about the direction cosine of x-axis is 1, 0, 0 for y, 0, 1, 0 for z, 0, 0, 1. Are you getting? So this is the first thing you have to know about the 3D. Second thing, okay, now second thing, write some notes from here. In three-dimensional geometry, in three-dimensional geometry, in three-dimensional geometry, we have three axes called, we have three axes called, we have three axes called x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. We have three axes called x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Okay. Now see. Okay. Full stop. After full stop. Continue. The three axes are perpendicular to each other. are perpendicular to each other. Now, as soon as I mention this sentence, the three axes are perpendicular to each other, you get your direction cosines. Because x-axis will be perpendicular to y-axis, y-axis will be perpendicular to the z-axis. So, angle will be 90 degree, right? Full stop. 90 degree perpendicular to each other. So, after full stop, the axis, after full stop, the axis divide the space, divide the space. Now what this space means, see, in two-dimensional geometry we are talking about only two axes, x-axis and y-axis. So that will be called as a plane, x-axis and y-axis, right? But when you talk about a three-dimensional geometry, you are basically explaining three coordinates, x, y and z. So when you talk about the three axes, x, y and z, it will become a space. For two-dimensional geometry, it was a plane. For three-dimensional geometry, it will be a space. Now the three axes divide the space into 8 octants. Into 8 octants. Into 8 octants. Likewise, in two-dimensional geometry, the two axes divide the plane into 4 quadrants. Right? Now in three-dimensional geometry, the three axes divide the space in 8 octants. Are you getting my points? 8 octants. Full stop. Okay. The now after that, right? The coordinate for the origin is 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 0, 0, 0. लिख ले उससे पहले मेरी एक बात सुनो. Now see the three chapters, three-dimensional geometry, straight line. Okay, two chapters only, three-dimensional geometry and straight line basically. Now these two chapters, if you talk about these two chapters, see, I am suppose taking 4 exams. थोड़ा मैं चैप्टर्स को पढ़ाने से पहले चैप्टर के बारे में थोड़ा डिटेल देना चाहता हूँ. सपोज आई एम टेकिंग 4 एग्जाम. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल CBSE. Now why am I talking about CBSE? I am talking about 12 board, CBSE 12 board. Okay, then let us support the SEBA. It is a state board 12, and I am suppose considering NDA, JE, this type of competitive examination. Okay, so three parts: CBSE, SEBA, and NDA, and JE, and other type of competitive examinations that is basically requiring 12, 11 maths. I think only these two exams requiring 11, 12 maths, NDA and JE. Right. Now see, when you talk about these two chapters, straight line and three-dimensional geometry, in straight line and in three-dimensional geometry, there are lots of derivations. How can we get the distance formula? How can we get the section formula? How can we get the equation of a line? Right. So there are some derivations. So when you talked about these three exams, the derivations are basically important only for this part. The class 12 SEBA. CBSE also don't ask about the derivations. Now competitive examinations will never ask you about the derivations, right? Because they are MCQ based, so there will be no scope of asking any derivation based questions. So when you're preparing for this exam only, suppose our main motive is about the NDA or JEE, any competitive examination, you just have to remember the formulas for these two chapters, right? I'll give you every formulas that are important, that may be asked about, but you don't need to go through the derivations. How can we go the distance formula? ओके तो इसीलिए मैं ये चैप्टर्स लास्ट के लिए रखता हूँ कि ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगेगा में क्योंकि वी आर ओनली गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट द फॉर्मूलास एंड वी आर गोइंग टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट द डेरिवेशंस. लेट मी वेरी क्लियर. Okay, I'll not explain you how can you get the formulas in this part, because that will not help you with any cost. Now it is not time. अगर time होता तब बात अलग थी, but still we don't have much time. We are not going to deep into the derivations. We are going to discuss about the formulas. We are going to use the formulas in direct questions. How can you solve the PYQs by using those formulas, right? So my motive you to give you the formulas for these two chapters. Three-dimensional geometry I am starting from today. In the next class maybe we are diving into the straight line. So these two chapters only require you the formulas, to remember the formulas. और एक जब फॉर्मूला सब कुछ लिख के हो जाएगा, एक पेज में लिख के रख देना उसको, क्योंकि फॉर्मूला इतना बन जाएगा, तुम्हें क्वेश्चन देख के पता होना पड़ेगा कि इस क्वेश्चन में कौन सा फॉर्मूला यूज किया जाए। दैट विल बी चैलेंजिंग काम, कि कौन सा स्ट्रेट लाइन का इक्वेशन यहाँ पे यूज किया जाएगा, कौन सा स्ट्रेट लाइन का इक्वेशन यहाँ पे यूज नहीं करोगे, तो ये तुम्हारे लिए थोड़ा चैलेंज रहेगा। Now in 3D also I am not going to give you about the derivations. I'll just give you the formulas and I'll help you to solve some questions. After that you have to solve the questions by your own. Okay. So now when I'm talking about a three dimensional geometry, ये पहले जो नोट लिखा रहा हूँ यहाँ से भी क्वेश्चन बन सकता है, जैसे कि वो डायरेक्शन कोसाइन का क्वेश्चन आया तो यहीं से ही हो जाएगा, because you know now the three angles are making 90 degree with each other, right? Now again some points will be there. Right now continue. क्या लिखा था? Origin, the coordinate of the origin will be 0, 0, 0. In two dimensional geometry it was 0, 0. Now it will be 0, 0, 0. Now after that, right? The coordinate for a point, the coordinate for a point, the coordinate for a point lying on x-axis, lying on x-axis is, lying on x-axis is, क्या होगा? कोई एक पॉइंट अगर एक्स एक्सिस में लाई कर रहा है, देन व्हाट विल बी द कोऑर्डिनेट? 1, 0, 0, right? It will be 1, 0, 0, 0. It can be 2, 0, 0 also. It can be 3, 0, 0 also. But write it x, 0, 0. Not write. Don't write 1. हाँ, किसका? x का कोई एक वैल्यू होगा. y 0, y z तो 0 ही होगा. If the point is lying on x axis, that x can take any value but not 0, right? So x, 0, 0. After that, right? The coordinate of a point, the coordinate of a point, the coordinate of a point lying on y-axis, the coordinate of a point lying on y-axis, lying on y-axis is 0, 1, 0, right? Lying on y-axis will be 0, 1, 0. And again, the coordinate for a point lying on z-axis. The coordinate for a point lying on the z-axis is 0, 0, 1, right? 0, 0, 1. Okay, after that, when we take, after that, when we take xy, when we take xy axis together, when we take xy axis together, okay, we get the xy plane. We get the xy plane. After full stop, similarly we can get, after full stop, similarly we can get, similarly we can get yz and zx plane, yz and zx plane. Now listen me very carefully. When you're talking about the space, I already told you that 3 axis divide the space into 8 octants. So when you consider a 3 axis, you are basically getting a space. Now when we take 2 axes at a time, suppose xy, yz, zx. Now this xy, yx, zx will be plane. This will be plane only, right? Oh, class. So xy, see, when you take about this axis, this is your x, this is your y, this is your z, right? Now this is x, y, z. If you're taking together, you are getting a space, right? But when you take only this part, suppose, so you are getting a x, y plane, right? When you take this, you are getting a yz plane, and when you are taking this, you are getting a zx plane, because there it is only two axes. Yes or no? If there are two axes, this will be called as a plane. So when you take three axes together, it will be a space. When you take two axes at a time, it will be called as a plane. Likewise, xy plane, yz plane, zx plane. Okay. Now write. After that, write the coordinate for a point. Yes. हाँ हाँ ले लेंगे. The coordinate for a point. The coordinate for a point lying on the xy plane. Now, as soon as I am mentioning about the plane, basically I am explaining about the two axes, x and y. In xy plane, I am mentioning about the two axes, x and y. So, the coordinate for a point lying on xy plane is क्या होगा? X, y, 0. Yes or no? If this is in the xy plane, the z coordinate will be 0. Right? X, y, 0. एक लिखने से I hope you are getting the understanding. Similarly, we can get after full stop. Similarly, we can get for yz and zx plane. yz plane के लिए क्या होगा? 0, y, z और xz के लिए x, 0, z. yz किसके लिए? yz and zx. So the coordinate for yz plane will be 0, y, z. The coordinate for zx will be x, 0, z. Right? So these are the points on lying on different planes. I hope you are getting this ना? Right? उसके बाद लिखो next point. Paragraph change करके लिखना. Now we are I am giving you formulas. Okay, first formula. Right. The distance between 2 points. The distance between 2 points. The distance between 2 points. The distance between 2 points lying on a space. Lying on a space. Lying on a space is given by square root डालो, root over x2 minus x1 whole square, x2 minus x1 whole square. मैं बोल रहा हूँ तो लिख पा रहे हो ना? Okay, plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Basically I am denoting this. लिख ही देता हूँ. x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. In class 10 you already studied about y2 minus y1 whole square. That is 2D. Now since you are talking about 3D, you have one more, z2 minus z1 whole square. So by using this formula you can find the distance between 2 points. Right? उसके बाद लिखो, next point लिखना. यहाँ से ही वो आ जाएगा. तुम लोगों को पता ही है ये बात, लेकिन फिर भी लिख ही लो. The distance of a point. The distance of a point. The distance of a point from origin. From origin is. Now from origin means the distance of a point from the origin. So one point will be suppose xyz. The other point will be 0, 0, 0. Right? So the distance will be simply x square plus y square plus z square. Right? Because the other point is 0 na. So x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 0 whole square plus z minus 0 whole square. That will simply means x square plus y square plus z square. Are you getting my point? Now right after that, if 3 points are collinear, 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 then AB plus BC should be equal to AC. Now if I am talking about 3 points, suppose this is my A, this is my B, this is my C. Now if these 3 points are collinear, how can we say? First of all, you have to find your AB, right? How can you find your AB? By distance formula, right? Then you have to find your BC, and lastly you have to find your AC by using the distance formula only. Now in the result, suppose you are getting AB plus BC equal to AC, then you simply say that the points are collinear. Okay, are you getting my point? And similarly, different questions may be asked. Suppose you have to tell whether the vertices will be forming a right angle triangle or not. Suppose three vertices are given, A, B and C, three vertices are given. This will be some x1, y1, z1. No need to write this. Z2, x3, y3, z3. Suppose these are the 3 points in the space, and you are asked whether they are forming a right angle triangle or not. So again, you have to find your AB, BC, AC. Then you have to check whether these three sides are following the Pythagoras theorem or not. If these three sides by any case following the Pythagoras theorem, then you are going to say that this will be a right angle triangle. If not, that will be not a right angle triangle. It may be AB square plus BC square equal to AC square. It may be AC square plus BC square equal to AB square, regardless of the sides. But if it is following the Pythagoras theorem, it will be right angle triangle. Are you getting my point? यहाँ तक बातें समझ में आया? क्लास 11 से हो ना? खत्म. 11 में 3D इतना ही है. हो गया तुम्हारा चैप्टर नंबर 11 कंप्लीट. आज जाके एक बार एनसीईआरटी खोल के देख लेना. हाँ 10 में, हाँ 10 में तो वो 2D था. आज जाके चैप्टर नंबर 11 खोलना एनसीईआरटी का. इफ यू आर इन क्लास 11, open the chapter number 11. Your chapter number 11 is done. Now you can easily solve the questions. बुक लाए हो? This is your introduction to three-dimensional geometry. That is the first part of class 11. So here only the coordinates of a point in space that we have discussed about. The origin, x point, y point, z point, x, y, z, x, z, x, z. So these are the things. The first exercise is only for this. Then you only have the distance formula. In distance formula, you have the derivation here. How can you get the distance formula? That will be important, obviously, for Seba. Huh? You can see for your final. Now again, these are the questions that they are asking you, just whether this can form a right angle triangle or not. Whether what will be the distance of these 2 points. Similar, same things. So that chapter is over. Now the three-dimensional geometry will continue in class 12 also. Now we have finished the class 11 part. Now we will move to class 12. Okay. Now what is the part in class 12? Now you are going to see the difference between class 11 and class 12. So if you are here in class 11, we have to jump here in class 12. The difference between class 11 and class 12. Okay. Again, write the notes first of all. The distance formula, we have finished it. Okay. Next. Section formula, we are going to discuss in the last part. Centroid, okay, we are going to discuss in last part. Reaction cosine, you have already discussed. Now in class 12 three-dimensional geometry, the first part is basically direction cosine, direction ratio. We have already discussed it in the vector algebra, right? तो उसको नहीं पढ़ेंगे अभी. We are going to directly see some equations. Okay, I can open the NCERT. वहां से फॉर्मूला लिख लो. अगर यहाँ पे NCERT खुल रहा है तो कहाँ जाता है ये? पहले वाले बोर्ड में थोड़ा एक्सपर्ट हुआ ही था कि चेंज ही कर दिया. अभी इसमें कहाँ से जाते हैं पता नहीं. डू यू नो कि होम में कैसे जाता है, जाया जाता है? हाँ ये वाला. वो अच्छा, ये अभी पता है. हाँ ब्राउजर, क्या इंटरनेट कनेक्टेड है यहाँ पे? Yes. So better we can open the NCERT and write the formulas, and I'll give you some idea about the derivation also. You are getting some questions from the NCERT also. We'll discuss some questions also. Then you can solve the PYQs. नहीं आता है सीबीएसई में derivation नहीं आता है. इसलिए बोर्ड के बच्चे थोड़ा ज्यादा तेज होते हैं. The CBSE students only know about what. Seva students know about why. That will be the important part of mathematics. ये भी आ जाएगा. ये बोर्ड थोड़ा अभी न्यू है ना, तो फास्ट फास्ट चल रहा है. सॉरी 12. मैथमेटिक्स कहाँ है? पहले ही है. यहाँ पे क्या डालो? पार्ट 2 ना. हाँ पार्ट 2 आ गया क्या? अच्छा, तो ये वेक्टर कौन से चैप्टर में होगा? ये चैप्टर वाइज तो पहले बुक पार्ट 1 है, ये पार्ट 2 क्यों नहीं है? गो. अच्छा, तो वेक्टर आई थिंक 7 8 9 10. 7 8 9 10. 4 और 5 में से किसी में होगा. पता है मुझे. 5 होगा वो. ठीक है, तो दिस विल बी योर 3 डायमेंशनल ज्योमेट्री. Right? So we are going to discuss about all the things. The first thing, direction, cosine, direction, ratios of a line we already have discussed. Right? This is already discussed. वही सब है जो हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था. इसको हम लोग अभी के लिए रखेंगे. ना दिस थिंग. ये बात भी हम लोग डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. एल स्क्वायर प्लस एम स्क्वायर प्लस एन स्क्वायर इक्वल टू 1 होता है. राइट? ये बात भी हम लोग ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं. The thing is that this part, direction, cosine of a line passing through 2 points. So if the 2 points are given, suppose, right? They write the heading. Direction cosines of a line passing through 2 points. Write the heading. Direction cosines of 2 points. Direction cosine of a line passing through. हाँ. 12 का सबसे डिफिकल्ट चैप्टर. देखो बच्चों के नजरिए से देखोगे तो कैलकुलस ही उनको टफ लगता है थोड़ा बहुत. नेक्स्ट वीक में स्टार्ट करने वाला हूँ कैलकुलस. ठीक है. Direction cosines of a line passing through 2 points. Right, this will be a derivation part. Okay, you can look into the NCERT, but the most important part is that the formula. कहाँ गया? एक तो ये लोड नहीं हो रहा है ना अभी. अच्छा, मेरा ही इंटरनेट कनेक्ट करवा देना है. को डाउनलोड कर लेना चाहिए था. डाउनलोड ऑप्शन कहाँ है? डाउनलोड ऑप्शन कहाँ सेव करोगे? सेव हो गया? देखते हैं. यहाँ पे होगा. माय डॉक्यूमेंट कहाँ है? ये वाला है ना. हाँ, अभी आ गया. डाउनलोड हो गया तो दिक्कत नहीं होगा. ठीक। अबे यार, ये सब, हाँ यहाँ तक पहुंच, ठीक है ये वाला। पहले ये लिखो, ये वाला पार्ट लिखो बस। पेन कहाँ निकल रहा है? आई विल एक्सप्लेन, पहले लिख लो ये वाला पार्ट। हेडिंग के बाद ये वाला पार्ट लिख लो, आई विल एक्सप्लेन। ये सब फॉर्मूला डायरेक्ट डायरेक्ट यूज होगा क्वेश्चंस में, हाँ। जब पीवाईक्यू सॉल्व करेंगे, मैं ये नहीं बोला कि यही यूज होगा, जो भी फॉर्मूला लिखा होगा अभी से, ठीक है, वो इम्पोर्टेंट। अभी क्या है ये फॉर्मूला, मैं एक बार बता देता हूँ, देख लो। ऐसे ही लिखने से तो काम नहीं चलेगा ना। सी, लिख लिया। सपोज आई एम टेकिंग वन वेक्टर 2i कैप प्लस j कैप प्लस k कैप. Now I have to find my direction cosines. Now to finding direction ratio is very simple. The scalar component will be the direction ratios. So if you have to find the direction ratio for this vector, the direction ratio will be 2, 1, 1 or not? The direction ratio will be 2, 1, 1. Yes, अरे ठीक है, ये 2, 1, 1 डायरेक्शन रेशियो होगा ये सब। तो मतलब जिसको एक और ए का वैल्यू क्या है यहाँ पे 2, बी का वैल्यू, सी का वैल्यू 1, right? Now if you have to find the direction cosines from the direction ratios, the formula becomes like this: a by root over a square plus b square plus c square, comma b by root over a square plus b square plus c square, and c by root over a square plus b square plus c square. ठीक है, ये कहाँ से आया वो भी देख लो एक बार, अगर देखना चाहो तो। बेसिकली क्या होता है, इफ यू नो अबाउट द थिंग, you already know about this thing, L by A equal to B by, sorry, M by B, ये पूरा मिल जाएगा ना, L by A, M by B, N by C, this will be equal because the direction cosines are proportional to the direction ratios. Yes or no? So you can write this is some, suppose K, this will suppose you are writing some K. मैं दिखाई देता हूँ आपको, ये वाला इसकी बात चल रही है, फिर से वही बात। कौन सा? ये वाला, तुझे सब पता है, तू यही देखता रहता है क्या फर्स्ट बेंच पे बैठ के? ये बात देखो, तो इफ यू नो अबाउट दिस थिंग L by A, M by B, N by C equal to K sum, because they are proportional ना, so this will be equal to some constant K. Now you know this relation L square plus M square plus N square equal to 1, right? तो यहाँ पे अगर हम लोग सॉल्व करेंगे तो इट विल बी A square K square B square K square C square K square equal to 1. If you take K square as common, you are getting A square plus B square plus C square equal to 1. So you are basically getting your K as plus minus 1 by A square plus B square plus C square. Now how can you find your LMN? L is nothing but A K na. So your L will be A by root over A square plus B square plus C square. M will be B by root over A square plus B square plus C square. N will be C by root over A square plus B square plus C square. But the thing is that if the ABCs are given, then only you can use this formula na. So if the vector is given, जैसा कि मैंने बोला था कि if the vector is given 2i k plus j k plus k k, then by using that formula you can easily find the element. So what will be your L? L will be 2 by root over 2 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. Yes, your M will be 1 by root over 2 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. Your N will be 1 by root over 2 square plus m square plus n square, right? But if the direction ratios are given or the vector is given, so if the vector is given, it is quite simple to find the direction cosines, because if the vector is given, you know about the direction ratios. Now if you know the direction ratios, you can use this formula: a by root over a square plus b square plus c square, b by root over c by root over. But in that case, when the vectors is not given, like in this case, here you can see that the vector is not given. Here only 2 points are given. If you consider your heading, there are only 2 points. Suppose this is your point P, this is your point Q. Only these 2 points are given. Now how can I find the direction cosine by using 2 points? That was the formula. Suppose this will be my x1, y1, z1. This will be my x2, y2, z2. Now ध्यान से देखना. You know how to find the direction ratios between 2 points. Last class हम लोगों ने लिखा था. If the 2 points are given, P and Q, P is x1, y1, z1, Q is x2, y2, z2. Now, how can you find the direction ratio of the line that is joining these 2 points? x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. Yes or no? So, if the 2 points are given, you have your A as x2 minus x1, you have your B as y2 minus y1, you have your C as z2 minus z1. So your a b c जो कि वहां पे लिखा था, it will simply become x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. Yes or no? And pq is nothing but your magnitude of a square plus b square plus c square. So the formula remains same only. But in that case, the vector was given not directly. So if the vector is given, you are directly using a by a square plus b square plus c square, b by a square plus b square plus c square. But here only the 2 points are given. So if the 2 points are given, first of all, you have to find the direction ratios. How can you find the direction ratios? x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. So that's why your ABC is replacing by x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. Because by using x2 minus x1 or y2 minus y1 or z2 minus z1, you are actually finding your a, b and c. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? And your pq is nothing but the magnitude of the vector. That will be your x square plus y square plus z square. So that's why the formula becomes like this. When the 2 points are given, the ratio, the direction cosines of the line should be like this: x2 minus x1 by pq, y2 minus y1 by pq, z2 minus z1 by pq. Where your pq will become x2 minus x1 whole square, y2 minus y1 whole square, z2 minus z1 whole square. इसको कॉमन लोगे, ये अरे ये कॉमा है, this will be comma, right? Because direction cosines na, so this will be value of L, this is the value of L, this is the value of M, this is the value of N. So these are the values of L comma M comma N. This is not an equation, right? These are the some values of L M N. तो ये पहला इक्वेशन, ठीक है? ओके, नेक्स्ट बात. अब थोड़ा एग्जांपल देख लो, यहीं से लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस ऑब्जर्व द एग्जांपल्स. एग्जांपल 2. If the line has direction ratios 2, -1, -2, the determine is direction cosines. If the direction ratios are given, then obviously you can find the direction cosines by using this formula. Yes, a by this one, this one. Now in this question, see the 2 points are given. So if the 2 points are given, first of all, you have to find the direction ratios by using the formula a2 minus a1 by x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, like this. So this will be your x1, y1, z1. This will be x2, y2, z2. So you simply find x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. And in denominator pq, that will be the same thing. Okay. So this will be your L, M, N. इसकी बात मैंने किया था थोड़ी देर पहले. Find the direction cosines of x, y, and z axis. ये एनडी ने पूछा है ना, मैंने बोला था थोड़ी देर पहले कि एक्स एक्सिस का कितना होगा. देखो ये वो लिखा गया है ना, 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, right? The direction cosines. Now again the same things, the 3 points. ये पहला एक्सेस तो इसी में से. Now equation of a line in space. Now take this heading: equation of a line through a given point and parallel to a vector b. ये a vector नहीं है, ये प्रिंटिंग मिस्टेक है. This is your a only. हेडिंग डालो, इसको लिखो. This is not a vector. Wait. आगे ही मानेगा. This is not a vector. This is simple A. Equation of a line through a given point and parallel to a given vector B. तो मतलब यहाँ पे एक लाइन का इक्वेशन हमें ढूंढना है जो कि एक पॉइंट से पास हो रहा है. ऑब्वियसली कोई ना कोई एक पॉइंट गिवन होगा. दैट विल बी सपोज x, y, z and it is paralleling to a vector. Suppose the vector is b vector. But what will be the equation for that particular line? Right? This will be the point. Equation of a line through a given point and parallel to a given vector b. Now observe. तो ये तुम्हारा डेरिवेशन यहाँ पे गिवन होगा. If you observe the diagram, this will be the point A to which the line is passing and the line is parallel to the vector B. Right? So now the equation for the line will be r equal to a plus lambda b. इसको lambda मान लो. r equal to a plus lambda b. तो इक्वेशन लिख लो इसको r a plus lambda b. r equal to a plus lambda b. ये रहेगा इक्वेशन. ठीक है. तो where a b क्या है मैं बताऊंगा थोड़ी देर बाद. But the thing is that you have to know if a line that is passing through a point x y z or is parallel to the vector b vector, the equation of the line will be r equal to a plus lambda b. Now again यहाँ पे लिखना this will be the vector equation. दो इक्वेशन हम लोग पढ़ेंगे यहाँ पे. This will be the vector equation. There will be one more equation that will be called as a Cartesian equation or scalar equation. This will be a vector equation. That will be r equal to a plus lambda b. एक एग्जांपल देख लो. इसको भी साथ में लिख लो. ये वाला भी इक्वेशन वही सेम हेडिंग का इक्वेशन है बट दैट विल बी योर कार्टेशियन इक्वेशन. ये इक्वेशन भी लिख लो और साइड मतलब साइड में लिखना कार्टेशियन इक्वेशन. दिस विल बी योर कार्टेशियन इक्वेशन. ये वाला ये इस वाले की बात कर रहा हूँ. बस इतना लिखो. नहीं इतना लिखने से हो जाए. Thing is that observe one question. Find the vector and Cartesian equation of a line through the point, this point 5, 2, minus 4 and parallel to the vector 3i 2z minus 8k. So if you are observing the example, it is given that the line is passing through the point 5, 2, minus 4. Right? So the vector A, you are considering the vector A na, in the equation r equal to a plus lambda b. That A vector will be your position vector. Now position vector is, the point is given 5, 2, minus 4. And if the A is the position vector, then how can you find the vector A? 5 minus 0, 2 minus 0, minus 4 minus 0. So it means the vector A will be 5i cap, 2j cap, minus 4k cap. Yes or no? That will be your A vector. So A vector will automatically be given by the point. Because if you are finding the position vector, you just have to subtract 0 from the points. Yes or no? Because position vector is starting from the origin. So the position vector, that will be my A vector, will be given as 5 minus 0 I cap, 2 minus 0 k, j cap and minus 4 minus 0 k cap. That will be become 5 I cap, 2 j cap minus 4 k cap. And similarly the vector is paralleling to the vector 3i 2j minus 8. So that will be a vector B. Right? So as you can imagine the equation will be like this. 5 I cap plus 2 j cap plus minus 4 k cap. This will be your A plus lambda. That will be your B. Easy है. बात समझ में आ रहा है ना? Then the Cartesian equation, how can you find the Cartesian equation? You can still finding the Cartesian equation by this. See, you are writing x minus x1 divided by a, y minus y1 divided by b, z minus z1 divided by c. Now observe here, your ABC will be like this. This will be your ABC. This will be your a comma b comma c. So how can we find the a comma b comma c x minus a? The formula become x minus a na. So x minus a means x minus 5, y minus b, तो y minus y1 जो भी बोलूं, और z यहाँ पे माइनस था ना, so that will be plus 4 because z minus minus 4, that will be your plus 4, and your denominator will be by this vector 3 comma 2 comma minus 8. So x minus x1, y minus y1, z minus z1 divided by a comma b comma c. x1 y1 z1 will be the point that is given, and this denominator that will be your abc, that will be given by the vector b vector, because b vector is nothing but a I cap plus b j cap plus z c k cap, right? So x minus x1, y minus y1, z minus z1 divided by 3 2 minus 8. मैं क्वेश्चन देखता हूँ, रुको. ये क्वेश्चन मुझे करवाना था, लिखो तो एक क्वेश्चन लिखो, और नेक्स्ट इक्वेशन थोड़ी देर बाद, अभी एंगल ही है, इक्वेशन ये तो खत्म हो गया. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट द एंगल. उससे पहले क्वेश्चन लिखो तो. फाइंड द यूनिट वेक्टर, find the unit vector, find the unit vector perpendicular to each of the vector, perpendicular to each of the vector 2 cap minus j cap, 2 cap minus j cap plus k cap and and 3 cap minus 4j cap minus k cap. Okay, so basically you are given two vectors, you have to find one unit vector that is perpendicular these two vectors. Now see, if in the question, if you are observing the, मैं ये सब question थोड़ा वो keyword समझाने के लिए कर रहा हूँ बस. If you are in the question, if you are observing the word perpendicular, you have to find the cross product, right? If you observe the word parallel there, you have to find the dot product. Now see here, if you observing the vectors, the two vectors are given as, कहाँ गया? यहीं पे कर देते हैं, थोड़ा व्हाइट पेज मिला तो नहीं मिलेगा. हाँ हाँ, जूम कर सकते हैं, गुड आइडिया, लेकिन जूम ही नहीं हो रहा है. हाँ ठीक, हो गया. Now see, the two vectors are given as, if you are writing vector A, suppose vector A, suppose that will be my 2i minus j plus k. Then second vector is vector B, that will be your 3i minus 4j plus minus k. So as I am telling you that find the cross product first. So you have to find the cross product of A and B. निकालो तो क्या हो सकता है? Find A cross B. Find A cross B. So if you have to find the unit vector that is perpendicular, you have to find the cross product. If you have to find the unit vector that is parallel, you have to find the dot product. Right? So now just find the cross product and tell me the vector. तब तक मैं एक दूसरा क्वेश्चन ढूंढता हूँ. ओके एक सेकंड रुको हाँ, लेट मी सॉल्व वन क्वेश्चन। कितना मिला? आफ्टर गेटिंग द क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट व्हाट इज द आंसर? 5i 5j 5k ना, 5ik plus 5jk minus 5kk. All of you getting this? नहीं हो रहा है क्या क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट? नहीं निकाल पा रहे हो? अभी तो सिखाया था, आज ही तो सिखाया था। आई के साथ क्या होगा? -1 इंटू -1, -1 इंटू -4, दिस विल बी योर आई कैप, देन प्लस j cap will be 1 into 3 minus 1 into 3 2 into -1, and plus k cap will be 2 into -4 minus -1 into 3. So if you are solving this, I cap is nothing but -1 1 plus 4 plus j cap 3 plus 2 plus k cap 2 4 are 8 plus 3. So you are basically getting 5i cap plus 5j cap minus 5k cap. This is the cross product, right? But you have to find a unit vector, na? So just find the unit vector of this vector. So now do you remember about how to find the unit vector for a vector? क्या था formula? Vector A divided by magnitude of vector A. You are getting the unit vector. Yes? So if this is a vector, then you have to find the unit vector A. That will be your 5i divided by 5 square plus 5 square plus 5 square, right? Minus 5 square, but same thing only, plus 5j by 5 square plus 5 square plus minus 5 square, and plus minus 5k divided by 5 square plus 5 square plus minus 5 square. So basically you are getting 5i by, it will be 125 5 root 3, 5 root 3 plus 5j by 5 root 3 plus minus 5k by 5 root 3. So that will be the answer. 5 5 कट जाएगा तो सब 1 में आएगा, right? That will be the answer. 1 by root 3, 1 by root 3, 1 minus 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 I cap, 1 by root 3 j cap, minus 1 by root 3 k cap, right? तो नेक्स्ट नहीं पढ़ेगा, थोड़ा क्वेश्चन ही देता हूँ, रुको मैं क्वेश्चन ही देखता हूँ, ये सब तो नहीं पढ़ा है अभी। लिखो तो एक क्वेश्चन लिखो. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. If the vector A, if A vector equal to, next question, if A vector equal to 2i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap. If vector A equal to 2i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap. And vector B equal to 3i cap plus 2j cap 3i cap plus 2j cap minus lambda k cap minus lambda k cap minus lambda k cap are perpendicular then find the value of lambda निकाल के दो मुझे. नेक्स्ट हमें एंगल पढ़ना है. क्या क्या बाकी है? एंगल पार्ट तो जल्दी हो जाएगा, ज़्यादा नहीं है. स्ट्रेट लाइन. हाँ, क्या हो गया? क्या हो गया? रुको, हो ही जाएगा अभी. इसका आंसर निकालो. मैं भी छोड़ने वाला हूँ. इसका आंसर निकालो. इसका आंसर पहले निकालो. क्या होगा? तू कहाँ जाएगा? बास नहीं मिलेगा. कहाँ रहता है वो? किस्त में बास नहीं मिलेगा. किसको किसको बता रहा है तू? हाँ, तू गुवाहाटी में कब से है? मैं 2019-20 से हूँ शायद. मैंने स्कूटी तो मैंने लास्ट ईयर खरीदा है. उससे पहले मैं बस से ही रात को 8 बजे भी मिलेगा बोखिस्टो का बस. आजकल वो गवर्नमेंट का बस आ गया ना, ग्रीन बस. तो ग्रीन बस तो रात को 8-9 बजे तक चलता है. कभी कभी तो 10 बजे भी मैंने देखा है. गुवाहाटी में अभी 3:30 बजे ये बोल रहा है कि बस नहीं मिलेगा. और कहाँ जाना है? मैं भी पहले बार में मैंने सोचा नहीं, बस नहीं मिलेगा. बोखिस्टो में बस नहीं मिलेगा. मैं छोड़ के आएगा. नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है, इसका आंसर निकाल के दो मुझे. बस नहीं मिलेगा बोलता है. कोई अच्छा बहाना दो ताकि मैं भी थोड़ा यकीन कर पाऊँ. सर तबीयत खराब लग रहा है, सर कहीं पे जाना है. नहीं, बस नहीं मिलेगा बोल. परपेंडिकुलर है तो डॉट प्रोडक्ट को जीरो करो, है कि नहीं? परपेंडिकुलर में तो डॉट प्रोडक्ट इज जीरो ना. तो जस्ट फाइंड द डॉट प्रोडक्ट एंड इक्वेट इट टू जीरो एंड यू गेट द वैल्यू ऑफ लैम्डा. व्हाट इज द बिग डील देयर? क्वेश्चन ही मैं भूल. कहाँ पे क्वेश्चन? कहाँ गया? हाँ, मिल गया. नहीं है ये. मैं नहीं बताऊंगा. लैम्डा का वैल्यू निकालो. जस्ट फाइंड द डॉट प्रोडक्ट एंड इक्वेट इट टू जीरो बिकॉज़ दे आर परपेंडिकुलर ना. तो डॉट प्रोडक्ट इज जीरो. If two vectors are perpendicular, then their dot product is 0. If two vectors are parallel, then their cross product is 0. कितना आया 3. लैम्डा इज 3 करेक्ट. बाकी सबका क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? अच्छा डॉट प्रोडक्ट क्या है पता ही नहीं. क्लास नहीं करोगे तो ऐसा ही होगा. कहाँ कहाँ गया कहाँ रहा? हाँ फिर कहाँ है? धुबरी क्यों गया था? कुछ था क्या क्लासेस क्लासेस मिस करके? अबे नहीं हुआ. वेक्टर बताओ क्या क्या था? क्या क्या वेक्टर था? बताओ वेक्टर बताओ. क्वेश्चन नहीं लिखा. व्हाट इज द वेक्टर? फर्स्ट वेक्टर इज 2i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap. The second vector is 3i cap 2j cap. Now the dot product, sorry, the perpendicular there, so the dot product is 0. The dot product means simply you have to multiply the corresponding ones, na? Because I dot j automatically becomes 0. So you have to just the corresponding ones. 2 into 3 kitna? 6. 3 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 3 plus 2, 6. हाँ sorry क्या लिखा? 5 कौन बोल रहा था? मैंने भी 6 लिखा. और 4 minus lambda minus 4 equal to 0 na? Because the dot product is 0. So you get your 4 lambda is equal to 12. So lambda is equal to, ना तो सिंपल सवाल था. ठीक है और नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा, कुछ बात करता हूँ मैं. तो देखो पहले तो ये बताना है कि हमें इस चैप्टर में ये कुछ कुछ टॉपिक पढ़ना है. एंगल पढ़ना है, शॉर्टेज डिस्टेंस पढ़ना है, कुछ कुछ टॉपिक है जो एक क्लास में हो जाएगा. फिर अपने को स्ट्रेट लाइन पढ़ना है. स्ट्रेट लाइन और कॉनिक सेक्शन में साथ में पढ़ाऊंगा. बोर्ड कहाँ निकलता है? देखो नाउ जस्ट सी, हम लोग 3D पढ़ चुके हैं अभी. 3D एक क्लास में खत्म हो जाएगा. देन स्ट्रेट लाइन एक एंड हाफ क्लास. कॉनिक सेक्शन एक एंड हाफ, मतलब ये 3 क्लास. 3+1 4 क्लास. फिर आएगा कैलकुलस. कैलकुलस में आई विल टेक अराउंड 10 क्लास. तो यू आर बेसिकली लेफ्ट विथ 14 और 15 क्लासेस. ठीक है, you are left with 14 or 15 classes. So if I can take, I can finish in 2 weeks also, because if I get more classes, if I can manage, right? So if I am taking 6 classes a week, so you will take 2 or 3 weeks में खत्म हो जाएगा. हाँ वो सब पढ़ना है. फर्स्ट थिंग इज दैट ये वाला पार्ट में अभी खत्म हो ही जाएगा 3D नेक्स्ट क्लास में. ठीक है, उसके बाद मैं इन दोनों को नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा. अभी मैं कैलकुलस पढ़ाऊंगा पहले. ठीक है, ये लास्ट में हम लोग रैप अप कर लेंगे, ज्यादा नहीं है. पर कैलकुलस जो कि एक इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट बचा हुआ है, उसको पढ़ना जरूरी है. कैलकुलस में लिमिट 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 तो मैं पढ़ा चुका हूँ थोड़ा बहुत, बताया था ना. तो डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी से पढ़ना बाकी है. तो कैलकुलस में क्या क्या पढ़ोगे देख लो. देखो स्टार्ट करेंगे हम लोग डिराइवेटिव से, क्योंकि वी हैव स्टडीड अबाउट लिमिट एंड कंटिन्यूटी, राइट? लिमिट कंटिन्यूटी पढ़ चुके हैं हम लोग. so we are going to start from derivatives. Then we are going to, this is the first chapter, derivatives. Then application of derivative. Okay, then integrals, then application of integral, right? Then application of integral, then तुम्हारा differential equation. So these 5 chapters, एनडीए में. एनडीए में तो ऐसा बोल नहीं सकता, लेकिन आता है. यहाँ से तुम पूरा मिला जुला के तुम्हें 15 क्वेश्चन मिल जाएंगे पूरा. ये पूरा देखो 1 2 3 4 5 चैप्टर, 5 चैप्टर का मिला के 15 क्वेश्चन है, प्रोबेबिलिटी का अकेले ही 10 15 क्वेश्चन है, तो वो ज्यादा हाई है, समझ रहे हो ना मेरी बात। लेकिन देखो भाई सुन लो, ये मैं पढ़ा दूंगा आराम से बोर्ड, तो जो जो लोग क्लास 12 के बोर्ड दोगे उनके लिए 44 मार्क्स है यहाँ से, समझो ना। क्लास 12 के बोर्ड्स के लिए 44 मार्क्स है। एनडीए में 15 20 क्वेश्चन आते हैं इन सब चैप्टर्स पे। ओके, तो वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट दिस एंड आई विल फिनिश दिस मैक्स टू मैक्स 10 क्लासेस, जो भी है मैक्स टू मैक्स 10 क्लासेस आई विल फिनिश। और क्या क्या आ सकता है, कौन से पार्ट से क्वेश्चन आएगा वो भी मैं बता दूंगा, जो कि तुम्हें ज्यादा फोकसली पढ़ना है, क्योंकि क्या है ना, इसके जो सवाल है बहुत लंबा लंबा सवाल है, तो जो लंबा लंबा सवाल है वो एनडीए नहीं पूछेगा। एनडीए विल जस्ट फोकस ऑन द प्रॉपर्टीज, कि कोई कोई यहाँ पे प्रॉपर्टी होगा जिसको मैं यूज करके मुझे इंटीग्रेशन का जवाब 2 लाइन में मिल जाएगा, तो एनडीए विल आस्क दिस व्हाट इज द प्रॉपर्टी देयर, because they are not expecting you to solve 2 pages integration question. हाँ हाँ, 2 pages एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन यू डोंट नीड टू सॉल्व इन एनडीए एग्जाम ना। इंटीग्रेशन के जो सवाल करोगे 2 पेज 3 पेज का सवाल बनता है, राइट। बट एनडीए विल नॉट आस्क यू दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन। एनडीए विल डायरेक्टली आस्क, मैं क्वेश्चन भी दिखा दूंगा, एनडीए विल डायरेक्टली आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस ऑन प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन। From derivatives, they are basically not going to ask you so much critical question. From application of derivative part, they are going to ask you about a maximum minimum function, increasing decreasing function. This thing will be the important part. इंटीग्रेशन के लिए बात वही है कि यहाँ पे एक इंटीग्रल, एक इंडेफिनाइट इंटीग्रल होता है, एक डिफाइनाइट इंटीग्रल होता है। They are not going to ask you about the indefinite integral. They are going to ask you about a definite integral. High chances. Then application of integral not so much important. And differential equation, they are going to ask you about the degree of an equation, that is a 100% sure question, the degree and order of an equation from the differential equation itself. And there will be some partial order differentiation and तुम्हारा homogeneous equation, that 2 methods will be important. ये मजा आएगा पढ़ने में, इसमें कोई ऐसा नहीं है, सिर्फ हम लोगों को सॉल्व करना है, दिस इज प्योर मैथ्स, मतलब जो कैलकुलेट कर करके जाना है। अभी तो थोड़ा वेक्टर वेक्टर में तुम्हें थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करना पड़ेगा, यहाँ पे जो है वही है, सॉल्व करके जाना है बस। ओके, तो in the next week I'll start calculus. One classes I will take for 3D. I'll wrap up 3D in one class, and then thereafter we are going to start about the calculus. Okay, so by August mid I'll finish calculus, and by August 20 I'll try to finish your syllabus by August 20. Okay, then we'll do some revision. Ah, yes, bolo. N plus 1 C 1. Which one? N plus 1 C 1. No, see, first of all, I am taking r equal to 0, na. Okay, so as soon as I am taking r equal to 0, I'll get this NCN. If I am taking r equal to 1, then I can get n plus 1 C n, na. So if they are asking you the sum, this is a summation, na. Summation from what? From r equal to 0 to 1. R equal to 0 is this, r equal to 1 is this. So basically, they are asking you to find the solution of NCN plus n plus 1 CN. Yes or no? NCN mean 1. When you take n plus 1, you're getting n plus 1. Okay, we are basically getting n plus 2. Now just see the options. Basically, two options giving me n plus 2 now. N plus 2 see, it will be n plus 2 only. See, the NCN, NCN plus n plus 1 C n tha na. This will have NCN become 1. N plus 1 CN become n plus 1. This is the formula. N plus 1 CN is n plus 1. So n plus 1, this will, there will no C there. So 1 plus n plus 1, it will be n plus 2 na. Yes. There will be two options that is giving me the answer n plus 2 in the question. But I don't know, there may be some printing mistake. But the option is D was correct according to UPSC. The option D. Because option 1 was giving you n plus 2. Option 4 is also giving you n plus 2. Right? How can I mark them? So maybe some printing mistake was there. Yes. Huh? Yes, yeah, NDA question na? Yes, it is an NDA question. This n plus 1, you did the form n plus r. C n minus acha, the formula NCR plus NCR plus 1 formula. Okay, you can do this. So then you are getting n plus 1. This will be your 0 1, so n plus 1. This will be also correct. N plus 1. This is the option number A na. So option A is correct by this way. Option D is correct by this way. Yes or no? Okay. If you see, if they are basically, if you observe the question, they are giving you two options. If option one is also correct, option two is also, option D is also correct. They're basically giving you the marks because there will be some printing mistake there. कभी कभी आता है ना कि there are some same options are given कि दो क्वेश्चन ऑप्शन सेम साथ में आ रहा है. ठीक है, जाओ जाओ, बस नहीं मिलेगा, जाओ जाओ. ओके यस. You give me some questions. यार है क्या क्वेश्चन? Oh, you give me the question. I missed these questions. बहुत सारे मैसेज आता रहता है ना. Okay, we are going to use the binomial here. Product of r consecutive positive integer divided by r. This will be equal to r. This will be a positive integer proper fraction. It will be not a proper fraction. R factorial will be r consecutive positive integer divided by r factorial. This will be a proper integer fraction. Okay. तो ये give me so much questions क्या मैंने देखा नहीं क्या? हैं? इसका मैसेज तो मुझे मिल गया था, तुम्हारा मैसेज क्यों? I missed it शायद. रुको. हाँ हाँ हाँ. Yes, you give me some questions. One. Oh, okay. Let me do one thing. You give me so much questions. I'll solve it in the next class on a Monday. Monday I'll take one class maybe. Most probably. So I'll solve them. Okay. So you also study about permutation combination. There was so much permutation combination that he has given me. I'll discuss in the next class. So just prepare with permutation combination so that you can also try to help me. Right. So I'll discuss in the next class. Okay. Today he is also going to miss the bus. I'm also running late. So we'll discuss in the next class. Okay. Or if you get any more questions, send me. I'm pinning your chat. Now I'll get the answer questions. Okay. Okay. Thank you. भागो भागो, बस नहीं मिलेगा.